Would you recommend people out there who are interested in going on The Bachelor, like, to go? Was it overall a positive experience?
Yeah, I have no regrets. I mean, you certainly have to be ready for the unexpected, and everyone knows how skeptical I was, but I did try to have an open mind and allowed myself to fall in love. But I think love can be found anywhere. I didn't really go there looking for love. I was very clear with her about that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I didn't
I'll be honest.
either when I went on.
Listen, come on.
You go for to have a good time. You're for the experience.
I thought I'd meet some great guys, have a great experience, hopefully meet a great girl. I did, and then we'll see what happens. But it can find you anywhere. So I think if you're ready and open to it, and hopefully you're lucky enough to find a connection, it's certainly possible. But it's certainly something that you have to be ready for. It's a very It's funny, people always ask you, was it fun? And, that's not the one adjective. I had fun, Lots of times I had fun, but it was an amazing, incredible, and stressful, and emotional, and highs and lows, and it was something I will never forget.
Absolutely. You said no regrets. Is that true? No regrets? You wouldn't take back anything if you could?
Well, I love how people say that, right? I mean, because you can always go back and change things.
Right.
But again, overall, I was true to myself, and I'm proud of that, and I suppose I could always said things differently or maybe bit my tongue sometimes. Without question, I think you go back and maybe do things a little bit differently. But I certainly have no regrets about putting myself out there, and no regrets about focusing on her and doing what I thought was best for our relationship. And yeah, I mean, and certainly no regrets about putting myself out there and the possibility of having a broken heart. So.
In the fantasy suite, you said you had fiancé-type discussions. What does that mean?
Well, we certainly had discussions, but I think I said fiancé-type stuff. And, I probably divulged enough of information, so I won't get into too more detail now that I'm not caught up in the moment. But, I mean, it was, again, a level of intimacy that was far beyond just the act of sex for me, which obviously was part of it. And it was just a very passionate, intimate, and personal and emotional, with just the fact that an engagement was on the line, and that was understood by both of us. And I was very clear about my feelings, and she was very clear about where she wanted this to go, and I was very clear about where I thought it might be going. And I think that's kind of what I meant about it. I mean, just about the environment and the situation.
Did she ever say "I love you"?
No. The closest way she got is to saying, "I wish I could say things back."
So in that way you felt like that was her way of saying
I mean, it was immediately following me saying,
I love you.
I love you. And again, when I remember the few times when I did say it to her, I was so very curious about her reaction, her body language, how she would look at me and things like that. And it was just such an incredible response. I mean, I've never, I'll be honest, I've never had someone physically react to me saying I love you as the way she did it. It felt great and wonderful. And it was just very intimate. And so I think, every situation is different, there's sex and there's all those other things, and every situation is different. And I think when people have an understanding when love's involved and falling in love, and I think there's a level of respect that both people should give to it. And not saying that she didn't, but I was just, like I said, taken back by how things ended.